Welcome to Restoring Education in America with Priscilla Rahn. She's a master educator and author, leading the conversation to restore the American mind through wisdom, virtue, and truth.
Well, hello, everybody. Welcome to Restoring Education in America. I'm your host, Priscilla Rahn, and I'm so excited you've decided to join the conversation today. We are in Dallas, Texas at Teacher Freedom Alliance. Finally, we're here with all patriots in the room and our wonderful CEO of Teacher Freedom Alliance, Mr. Ryan Walters. Good morning.
Great to be with you here in person. We've talked before, but being here in person with all the teachers has been awesome.
Well, we really appreciate all of your work and dedication. You're a former educator and you've risen on up the ranks to be the boss of Oklahoma, right? You're making decisions for the education system there. And then we stole you away at Teacher Freedom Alliance. So catch us up. We've just started day 2 here in Dallas. And so just kind of give us a lay of the land of what's going on this summer.
You know, the summit kicked off, we had James Lindsay come in right off the bat talking about what we've seen in education, the Marxism, the left-wing indoctrination. We then went right into some other speakers to talk about how you teach American history. We had David Barton, we had Ken Pope talk about how you teach communism. We got to make sure that our students understand American history, but also, Western civilization. Why do we make the decisions in America that we did? And then we had the Secretary of Education, Linda McMahon, here yesterday. So that was a lot of fun. We got to have a roundtable discussion with her where she walked through why, the Trump administration is doing a lot of things they're doing in education, how they're restoring education back to the states. And then today we've got a lot of breakout sessions. We've got you doing one there that's going to be very, very hotly attended there. And, today is really where we dig into the strategies, where we really dig into the tactics of how do we make sure that what we're doing is the best possible academic outcomes in the classroom. What does that look like? And so today is really the day we really dig into it. So it was a fun kickoff. We had some great speakers, but today's the day where a lot of the work's going to get done.
Well, I know when I go to education conferences, I love meeting other educators. I love the breakout sessions, but I love the booths too.
Yep.
And so I know the viewers can't see all of the different organizations that are here, but we've got PragerU, we've got Moms for Liberty. There are books being sold, new authors. There's just a lot of great materials and folks that are wanting to partner with educators that are like-minded. Why is that important for you to partner with other organizations outside of educators?
Oh, that's a great question. One of the things that we want to make sure that we're doing for our teachers is they have access to all the best educational resources out there, but all the great groups that are here to say, we want to help. We want to bring education back to the basics. We want great teachers in the classroom. We want to see communities that are thriving, families that are thriving. And so you've got all these groups around. And by the way, you're seated right next to the Department of Education
Yes.
here. So she's, the Department of Education's here. And they said, hey, look, we want to be involved with great teachers. We want to help facilitate these conversations. And so I think it's so important when we talk about getting education back is that we're working with all of these like-minded groups to say, look, what can we all do to make sure that the teachers have what they need in the classroom? They got to have the right trainings. The community is being built. Well, how are we engaging parents? How are we engaging the broader community and the community partners that are saying, hey, yeah, we want the Constitution back in school. We want this understanding. How can we help? There's a lot of great parents, a lot of great groups that are saying, we want to be more involved. And so I think bridging that gap is very important to see success in education. And I'm very proud of the organizations that are doing this work around the country.
So I think a lot of people on the outside who may not understand TFA, they might say, oh, you're anti-public education. But that's not the case because we have the Department of Education here. We have people in the current administration who really do care about education choice. Are our practices best practices? Are we respecting parents as the first educators of their children? What are some other myths about TFA that you can dispel?
Yeah, and that's the teachers unions for you. We are public school teachers, the Teacher Freedom Alliance. We want to improve education. And, you hear all kind of things that the teachers union has floated out there about us to try to discourage folks. And frankly, they're trying to hide from teachers, even letting us tell teachers who we are. And so what we want teachers to know is, look, we're here to support great teachers around the country. The only way we get education back on track is to have great teachers in the classroom. First of all, we got to keep recruiting great teachers. I'm concerned about that. Are we going to continue to have great people get in? But also when I look around the country, I go, well, we've got some amazing teachers. And if we don't get them the supports they need, if we don't help build this community where great teachers are able to work together, they're not going to stay. And that's I'm optimistic. Look, I'm optimistic about the future, but I also have the concern of, if these great teachers leave the classroom, you get to a point where, okay, that's great. We want a better education system, but if the good teachers are leaving, it's not going to happen. And so there's a real sense of urgency there to say, how do we step in, get the unions out of the way, get their left-wing politics out, and how do we make sure the teachers are getting what they need? And again, you see the energy here. I've heard this conversation so many times already this week from teachers saying, this is what I've asked for. This is the type of community that I want. These are the kind of trainings and resources we've been asking for. And frankly, all we're doing is listening to the good teachers. I mean, it's not, it's not like we've come up with some brilliant plan. We got together with some of the best teachers in the country. They laid this out for us of, you know what would really help me? Professional development around classroom management, classroom discipline. Okay, well, we can do that. We can go find, folks that are doing a great job with that. Well, what else do you need? Well, we need to figure out how to navigate the literacy issues. Okay, well, we can bring in folks to do that. And so, it really is truly, just to show you the difference, last week the AFT held, or the NEA held their big national conference. They're talking about impeaching President Trump. They're talking about marching on Washington to take out the Trump administration. Well, we're here talking about classroom discipline. I mean, that's the difference between an organization that's saying, what do teachers need? How do we improve the classroom? Compared to one that says, how can we electioneer for left-wing politics? Just very, very different.
Right. We're looking at some of the speakers, and there's a wonderful book that they give us. They're very organized. This is really important. And these are teacher leaders in their districts that are experts in the field who are doing these breakout sessions. So I think for those of us who have been in education, we respect our colleagues. And I can say I've been to a lot of conferences, and last year was the first time I came. And I was so impressed by the knowledge and the tools and the availability. Throughout the year, you make friends and you reach out to folks. And this is something that's really different than what the NEA does, because I know I was in the NEA.
And, we've got, I talked about some of the big name speakers, Secretary Linda McMahon, we have Corey DeAngelis, James Lindsay, America Donalds, but most of our speakers are teachers. Most of the people doing the presentations are teachers in the classroom that are walking in here with, here's our experience, here's how that translates to the classroom. So, everything that we do, we're running by our teachers to say, is this helpful? Is this going to be impactful? And then we partner the teachers with the speakers to say, we want to make sure that everything we're doing is actually practical, where you can walk away from the summit with something that really helped you directly in the classroom. And I think that's very important. It's very intentional on our part that, yes, we're glad to bring these big names and speakers to our teachers, but we want to make sure that they are leaving with something that really does help them in the classroom.
So there's something really important for those of us as teachers, because we love to spend our own money in our classrooms, and we're like, oh, another conference, it's so expensive, it's out of state, I don't know. But you have taken all the hurdles out of accessing this conference specifically. So there's educators from all over the United States, and you guys just said, just get here. We'll help you get here. And when you get here, we're going to put you in a beautiful hotel. We have food. And you guys should see the spread, and coffee, endless coffee.
Hey, coffee's important. You got to have the coffee. No teachers need the coffee, right?
Oh, and the swag bags. Okay, guys, I have to tell you, we've seen some cheesy swag bags, but these swag bags are amazing. So talk about that, because these are the little things that teachers are looking for. It's like, is it worth it to go to this conference?
Yeah, look, we want the teachers to be taken care of. We know that their summer is a very valuable time. They've got, and I always think it's funny when people talk about, how much teachers work. I'm going, teachers are working all the time. And in the summer, they have very limited time to prepare for the next year. They've got all of their professional development and things like that. So we sat here and said, well, first of all, we want to make sure they get all their professional development hours. So they get to knock that out while they're here, get good professional development hours, but they also are able to clear that hurdle. But yeah, we want them taken care of. We want them to come here and have a good time. We want them to be able to come congregate together. They can have that time together to eat. They can have that time together to have some fun. We actually have a big Teacher of the Year party tonight. We're going to be announcing the new Teacher of the Year. So that'll be a lot of fun. But,
I'm ready in my red, white, and blue.
Hey, you are. You've got it. You've got it all ready to go. But yeah, no, we want the teachers to have a great time. We're here. We're working hard, but we also want them to have that sense of camaraderie together. We want them to have a good time while they're down here.
And they're very safe here. They take the safety very seriously, but everyone's so friendly. I think in our world, we really appreciate military, law enforcement, first responders, and to know that you're safe but feel like comfortable. That's a great thing that you guys have been able to accomplish, that balance between safety and being comfortable. So, and the entire staff at TFA has been just so kind and helpful, and that's because of your leadership. So thank you for that. Anything else what other message do you want to leave with our viewers?
Well, I want to say, we talk a lot about all the terrible things that the union's doing, all of the issues in education. But, a week like this renews, and I'm always optimistic. I get to talk to great teachers all over the country every day. I get to talk to parents that are excited as they see what the teachers are doing. But, this week, rejuvenates me too, to say, look, you've got hundreds of unbelievable educators. I mean, I could tell you the stories, but I mean, I'm just getting dozens of stories every hour or so from educators that you're going, every one of these are inspiring stories. Every one of these teachers are making a significant difference in the classroom. And so we've got to continue to stay encouraged. Yes, we are up against a behemoth in the teachers union and all these left-wing groups and all the left-wing money. But the reality is what our teachers are talking about are what parents want for their kids. It's what the country needs for the future of America. We're here at 250 years of America. It's been incredible, right? Greatest country in the history of the world. And for that to continue, it's going to be because of great teachers like the teachers here at the Teacher Freedom Alliance. And, Benjamin Franklin, he said when he walked out of Independence Hall, well, what did you guys create? Well, a republic, if you can keep it. These are the folks that are going to keep it. Passing on those values to the next generation, the understanding of American exceptionalism, American values to the next generation. It's so key. I cannot overstate enough. That is going to be the difference of whether America does another 250 years of being this incredible country, or if we enter into a decline. And again, a week like this, I am excited about the next 250 years.
7 a.m. start time. Okay, we're going to have to talk about that for next year. But all seriousness, the nuts and bolts of TFA, it's free. Okay, we didn't talk about that. Well, let's quickly talk about it's free. But what do you get for free?
Yeah, so what you get for free is you get liability insurance. If there's ever an issue, we want to make sure that you're covered legally. You get professional development hours, all of your professional development hours for the year. We offer all of those to you. We offer all of these educational resources. We partner with PragerU, Turning Point USA, Hillsdale, all of these resources we make available to you. And again, and by the way, teachers, we provide the resources that you ask for. So when we had, we're about to have the Kid Whisperer take the stage here. This was one of the professional developments that was requested, so we brought them. That's one of the things we try to continue to do is go out and find what are the best educational resources out there that teachers are asking for and provide them for our members. So, you're going to get liability insurance, you're going to get the professional development, you're going to get the trainings that you're asking for that you're saying would be impactful for you in the classroom, and you're going to get the best community of teachers in the country that you get to interact with, interface with, whether it's virtually, and then, this is our big summit, but we're hosting regional summits all over the country so that, again, we were in Kansas City just a few weeks ago, brought teachers together from Kansas, Missouri, and we had a lot from Tennessee that came in for that. But we're going to continue to do that around the country to bring great folks together and continue to work towards this mission.
So the rock star himself, our CEO, Mr. Ryan Walters, we know he's very busy and we appreciate you. We know it's a tough job and you're fighting the good fight for us. But thank you so much for hosting and being here today.
Well, let me tell you too, I appreciate you. I appreciate your voice and what you've been able to lay out for everyone to say, look, here's what education can be. You're always so positive and optimistic. I love it because that's what we need. And I love the conversations that you're having around. This is what education can be. This is what folks are doing. And I think it's just so important for us to stay optimistic. It's so important for us to stay strategic. How do we get there? and you're just doing an awesome job with it. I'm proud to know you. And yeah, we're just going to continue the fight.
So real quick, give everybody the website so they can.
Teacherfreedom.com. Teacherfreedom.com. Come sign up. Please follow us on social media. And again, if you can't be here, we are live streaming, a lot of the speakers. We are sharing a lot of the material. We'll be clipping a lot of the breakout sessions and pushing those out as well. So follow online. You can get it live, but you're also going to get all the clips as well. So you can see it, but you can also share with friends that weren't able to be here. So again, if you're not here with us, you can be here with us in a sense. Please, continue to go to teacherfreedom.com, Teacher Freedom Alliance on all the social media channels, and follow and share away.
All right, you guys. Well, thanks for tuning in. Catch me next time. And remember, educating the mind without the heart is no education. So seek wisdom, cultivate virtue, and speak truth.
Thanks for tuning in to Restoring Education in America with Priscilla Rahn. Visit PriscillaRahn.com to connect or learn how you can sponsor future episodes to keep this message of faith, freedom, and education on the air.